7:04, let's call this meeting Wichita County Commissioners Court to order. At this time, I'd like to call on Commissioner Ray Gonzalez to give the invocation.
Let us pray, please. Our dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day that you have given us, many blessings in it. We ask that you forgive us our many sins and that you be with us throughout this meeting today, that we'll be able to do the right choices, dear Lord. We ask that you be with all our military that are out there in harm's way, dear Lord, and just protect them and their families too, dear Lord. All this we ask in Jesus Christ. Amen.
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 Thanks, sir. Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Texas pledge, please.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. Take your seats, please. Sheriff Duke, there's something I think you might want to share with us.
I get it.
Okay. Well, this person down on the end there, sitting next to the chief, I didn't recognize her the other day, and I had to reintroduce myself to her. One was she had her hair different. I'd never seen her out of a uniform, but she's got a totally new position with you. I thought you might.
I wasn't going to talk about it afterwards, but since you have to observe that, this is Captain Lisa Johnson, the new jail administrator for Wichita County Sheriff's Office.
Awesome. Congratulations, ma'am.
I'd say she's been evaluated the last 5 months along with other individuals from the lieutenant's positions, as well as 3 outside individuals who applied. And I think that just hands down, she outshined everyone as far as her experiences she's already had here in 11 years, to all the things that she's been involved with, even working with the court and on building maintenance and issues inside the jail, making corrections, doing the right thing. I think we're on a new day, some new track, and it's going to be a new future, a good future for Wichita County.
Well,
Chief, got anyone?
I think you covered it all.
She's going to be a great asset. She's been an asset. She's just got a little more valuable for us.
all right. Well, great. Well,
I'd like to chime in on that a little bit. I've been working with Sergeant Johnson for quite a while on the jail remediation project, and I'm 100% in agreement with what you said. She's awesome. Thank you, Captain Johnson.
She's displayed quite a bit. She has no fear.
She has no
She's not afraid to say
fear.
what she needs to say, and so that's what we like. That's what we want. So like I said, new era started. So I think our jail staff is excited. They've got the news Thursday. All the supervisors, we had big meetings, and we didn't hear one person that was a negative about it. And I think there's been more good morning captains to her this morning than I think there has been in the last 5 years. So I'll leave it as that. So looking good.
all right. Well, good deal. Well, we're looking forward to working with you more. All right. Let's continue on. I'd ask the court to take action on the consent agenda.
The judge, having reviewed the consent agenda, I would make a motion that we approve it as presented.
Second.
Okay. Motion by Commissioner Mahler, second by Commissioner Watts to approve the consent agenda. Any comments or questions on the items?
Judge, that does take into account Meredith's update or on the new...
Yes, sir. I gave you on Meredith. I have
Okay.
that. They sent it. He had forgotten to change out the paperwork. So it is, I knew it'd be the higher price. Yeah. The other thing, let me do comment on that. It's kind of a fortuitous phone call this morning from Mrs. Soper with the Texas Division of Emergency Management. Our good friend David Solis, who served here as our disaster DPS representative, then went to Amarillo and then got promoted. Went by her office on Friday, said to give me a call and see if she couldn't take care of our grant submission for it. So while I want the court to go ahead and approve this, I don't think we're going to exercise it. She went over with me this morning. Right now it looks like there's 4 homes that wish to participate in that. I've got to do some other paperwork on the 4th home. 1 home withdrew itself. The home belonging to Mr. Burton. This was the third time it flooded down at the end of Wrangler's Retreat. He got tired of waiting on the government, and he sold that home, and I talked to the new owner. It's a weekend home to them. They're not interested in participating in the program, and so...
Not until it floods the next
Right.
Yeah.
But at any rate, we might have to kind of watch it. I'm going to meet with Lever going this afternoon, go over getting the paperwork and all, so we can get this pretty well flushed out while I'm in the judicial conference in Galveston this week. I'll be able to work on it from there, but I think we can get everything together and get this through. One of the things that I wanted to warn the court that as we move through this, we're probably talking about $1 million. Theoretically, local government's supposed to provide 25% of that. But if we go back and Mr. Ward is a successful proposer when we get ready to do the buyouts, then he has developed a system like some of the counties were hit so hard, they don't have 25% to put into several, it'd be millions of dollars for them. So there is a way to work around that. We did that in 2007. We will have some expense that we won't recover, but not, I'm going to say it should be less than about $25,000. So we ought to be able to do that and help those residents out. And
So we have a total of 3 homes now?
I think it's going to be 4.
4, not including Burton's.
Not including, no, Burton pulled out, we had 5.
Okay.
One of those I thought was going to be a stretch is inside the city limits of Wichita Falls. I talked to the owner last night to make sure that she was still interested in participating in that. When I asked the state about it this morning, she said it's the exact time. The interesting thing, these go through much less paperwork because total cost of leveling should be less than $276,000. Now, we still are submitting, we're in a contest. We, along with the 91 other Texas counties that have homes that are going to submit for this or other mitigation, all go into the same pot, and they're also competing beyond Texas. So Texas gets about $35 million for mitigation, it looks like, off of this disaster. Hopefully they're going to look at us and say, I'm going to go to the optimistic side, and they're going to look at us and say, gee, if we spent $750,000 in Wichita County, we can solve their problems completely, as opposed to some county needing $10 million. So that's my glass half full approach to that. But that's where we are, and maybe we can get into this without that other money being in there, so we might have only about the $25,000 expenditure. All right, any other comments or questions on the consent agenda? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 1 on general business, review and approve the emergency regular bills for payment.
I'd make a motion that we approve the emergency and regular bills for payment.
Second.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Mahler, second by Commissioner Gonzalez to approve the emergency regular bills for payment. Any comments or questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 2, canvass and take necessary action on the election results on November 3rd, 2015 constitutional amendment election. Ms. Bohannon.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Y'all were all sent a copy of the canvas this morning, or electronically. We do have some paper copies if you want them. And just a couple of things. Remember, an overvote is where the person voted twice on that item. You can't do that on the machines. It was only on paper. An undervote is where they didn't vote at all on that. So, and you can do that.
An overvote only happens on a paper ballot,
Correct.
Not on the machine.
The machines will not let you overvote.
Okay.
But it will let you undervote. You can actually go in and you can vote for one thing, or you can go in and you can actually vote a blank ballot.
Really?
It will let you do that, yes.
Yeah, the mine and the ballot cross and. But,
Yeah.
Took me a minute, but
that's all right.
I got there.
It's unfortunate, and that people do not, it's great they show up, but they really need to spend the time. There's materials out. Paper puts out an excellent deal. Our television media did a lot of discussion on this last election, but we did have
League of
people.
Women Voters always has their guides out.
Yeah.
There's information out there.
Yeah.
Well, isn't it true, you can actually take the voter's guide into the booth with you now?
Yes.
Now, that wasn't always true, was
No,
it?
you can always take something,
Yeah.
you've always been able to take something in. You just cannot take your smartphone.
Right.
You can't take an electronic device. You can take a piece of paper, but you cannot have it on your phone, your tablet,
Right.
because electronics is not allowed in the polling location.
And that's really helpful on these constitutional elections, to have some notes sometimes to
Yes,
look back at, so.
yes, because we get lots of calls, us wanting to explain them, and we're like, yeah, no.
Okay.
Questions?
Could we have action to approve?
I make a motion that we accept the results of the constitutional election as presented by the county clerk.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Muller, second by Commissioner Watts to approve the canvass report from the county clerk on the election of November 3rd. Any other comments or questions? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Item number 3 is discuss, consider, take action to terminate the contract with Correct Care Solutions as of March 1st, 2016, and authorize the county judge to sign any documents necessary to provide notice of termination. Anyone wish to go ahead and make that motion, and then we would open for discussion?
So moved, Judge.
Is there a second?
I'll second that
Thank
motion.
you. Okay, motion by Commissioner Gonzalez, second by Commissioner Watts to approve the item as stated. Is there any comment from anyone here or in the audience? Okay, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item 4 is discuss, consider, take action on county health insurance tiers and rates. This has to do with the change we looked at. The Texas Association of Counties brought us that reduced rates with some slight increase in copays. But in one particular one, we wanted to look at a new tier, which was employee with one child. And so in that, we talked about a number of different things, and then our auditor and Commissioner Watts came up with what I think sounds like a very fair solution. When before, if you were a grandfathered, and this only affects the grandfathered employees, which right now we only have one in that category. But where the grandfathered employee used to pay $170 plus a month, and the county paid $270 plus a month to make up the total premium, what we did is took that and used that same ratio. So now the employee contribution would be $76.49, and the county contribution $107.55. So to me, that looked like a fair method for both the county and for the individual to get benefit of that savings. And in all other groups, there was a reduction other than employee with spouse, and that category had an increase, but less than under the old plan. So that's where that is. Commissioners, any other comment or anything on this?
Judge, it seems like with the savings that we're getting here, it seems like the insurance is almost free. I mean, as far as the savings, that 164 that the county will receive and the employees, it doesn't sound right that the insurance companies are losing any money anyway.
No, that's how they stay in business. They don't lose money. No, insurance is a loan. You're either paying ahead or paying back for health insurance. Life insurance, you might beat them at.
Yeah.
What are we voting on? We voting on just this one category?
Well, yeah, that's the one that we had some question about. We did all the other categories. They came out, but this was a new category.
Instead of that, a grandfathered employee receiving the $272 stipend from the county, now that's going to be changed to only be $107.55.
Correct.
But that way, we shared the savings and the burden, so it wasn't total free insurance, so that we then made it where that was the same ratio. Now, the only other thing I'd like to add into this is, as we do this, is that we change this to grandfathered employees and get rid of that term entitled that seems to raise everybody's emotions. It's not PC anymore, I don't know. But if the motion then would read to approve those rates and change the title to grandfathered employees.
Judge, I'd make that motion.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second it, Judge.
Thank you. Motion by Commissioner Watts, second by Commissioner Muller to approve the rates for the grandfathered employees with one child, employee and one child at the rate the county would pay $107.55, and the employee contribution would be $76.49. And could I ask you all to amend that to say that will be the benchmark rate? In other words, as that premium goes up, as we've done in the others, the county will never pay more than $107.55 unless it takes particular action to do that. Okay, is that agreeable?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Anyone in the audience wish to make any comment on this?
Rather than, along with the dollar mark, we're setting a ratio. Then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we're
Well,
setting,
no,
not a ratio.
No.
We're setting the dollar amount. It's fixed
Right.
at.
Okay.
We're using a ratio to set the dollar amount, but
Okay.
fixing the dollar amount moving forward.
Okay. I'm with you. Take me a minute to. That's going to be important, Judge, because we know moving forward,
It's going up.
it's going to go up. I think we've already been
Right.
pretty well pre-warned to that.
Every year.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Okay, we're down to public comments. Anyone in the audience have anything to bring up? Commissioners?
We had a great Saturday evening. Was invited to go to the Mexican American Veterans Association banquet. We had a great speaker. He needs to shave, but he's a great speaker. And the turnout was pretty good. I saw a lot of Mexican Americans on that scrolling list up there. I did not realize how many of those people that I knew. It was really good. I really enjoyed myself, and I want to thank Commissioner Gonzalez for helping put that together. It's a lot of fun. Good food.
You know, Commissioner, one of the things that stood out to me is the percentage of participation by the Hispanics in all of pretty much the conflicts that this country has fought all the way back.
What was it? They said they made up 5% of the population, but they made up 20%.
20%. Was that World War II, maybe?
of
Whatever.
Vietnam.
Judge, that was your program, but it was very impressive, the amount of participation, but it was a good event. It was a lot of, very enjoyable.
Oh, the other thing was the number of medal honors won by Hispanic soldiers. So, I think
Very enlightening. It really was.
the biggest tickle I got out of researching that, and Joyce really did the brunt of that research for me. I just read well what she had put together, and I crafted a little bit. But was that old phrase, damn the torpedoes full speed.
Yeah.
Never knew where that came from.
I never knew that either. I'd lived by it a lot of times, but
I thought that was Clark Gable.
I think it was.
may well have been. All righty, anything else?
Judge, I want
Yes,
to
sir.
comment on how great the governor's
Wow.
The Boy Scout event. and that
Boy Scout
presentation.
event that Governor Abbott attended. That whole evening was just fantastic, well put together, a great young man. It was just, I think everyone that attended thoroughly had a good time.
I think Reno Gustafson told us Saturday night they'd raised, I think, slightly over 50,000 at that event too, so that's huge for,
Well,
We were also discussing how we gonna top that.
yeah.
It was that good.
We've set that benchmark.
Yeah.
So, very fitting though, when the governor of Texas, who of course is confined to a wheelchair due to an accident, presented that young man with his gold star, who is also confined to a wheelchair because of spina bifida.
Right.
I thought that was a very, very fitting tribute, and that was a great evening.
Kind of lets that young man in that wheelchair know that he can do pretty much whatever he really wants to, even be
got it
governor.
done. And I enjoyed the missing man ceremony. I'd never seen that before, Judge, until you did that deal, and I thought that was very impressive. Something needs to be done more often around Veterans Day.
well, and that's traditionally more probably a Memorial Day.
Right.
One other thing, if you ever get a chance to see it, that also is a kind of it will get your patriotism and accelerated,
Yeah.
is the flag folding ceremony.
What it
For each of
means.
the 13 folds of the flag, there's, and that one is done impressively. And of course, the amount of time that young men and women in the Air Force give as participants in the Honor Guard, that was those young people with us the other night. I think that was their 4th event this week, and they do that in addition to their regular duties.
Well,
And so,
pretty good.
Did you notice that every one of those kids, except for one, won a door prize?
Yeah.
Every one of them is great.
Which was much more appropriate than you and I, Commissioner, so.
Commissioner Gonzalez won a door prize to Bed Bath and Beyond. Judge Gossam thinks he's going to recommend body oils, right? Bath oils. Or what is it?
you know what? We probably could stop that conversation 30 seconds ago and be better off.
Judge, I'd like to also recommend to the court that we schedule a work session over our Precinct 5 Great All project, and I'd like to see us move forward with that straight away, so whenever we could fit it in on the schedule to
Okay.
do.
Could I ask you to broaden that scope? We need to talk about the county energy projects,
CTERS.
the CTERS,
Okay.
because
That'd be
We need an
great.
update.
we now do have, it appears in that there is an inline.
Yeah.
It's a ways out there, but you all
the
have
inline,
got,
yeah.
between the work on the flood stuff and that, I haven't managed to get us an extension yet, because it appears that would take legislative action to do that.
You know, there's also some other thing. Why don't we call it the County Road and Bridge work session so we can discuss several topics
Okay.
during that meeting?
Equipment and with CTERS and general operations.
Yeah.
Safety meeting Thursday morning.
Yeah, okay.
Lee, that's at your barn, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. What
That
time? Is that it?
It's at 8 a.m. It is a posted meeting, and it's at the Precinct 2 barn, because we will have a quorum of commissioners there. I will be at the judicial conference in Galveston.
And I'll be in Austin at a meeting, so.
Oh, okay.
There'll still be 3 of them there.
Yeah. So I'm signing those certificates. I'll pass those to you all to sign, so if you're going to be gone, be sure you get on that list.
Okay.
All right. Anything else to be brought before the court? Sheriff, anything else? Because I guess I rolled you out earlier than you planned on introducing the
That was
captain.
the biggest thing.
Yeah. Well, I just read the agenda and it said presentation, so I thought that was the place to put that.
Saturday morning, we had a very long car chase, which began in Comanche County. An individual with a stolen vehicle from Wichita Falls, we know him. He wasn't thinking when he blew past the state trooper on I-44 southbound. And he's in a small 4-door, maybe 4-cylinder type car. Thought he could outrun the trooper. And then he came to Texas, and in Oklahoma, the troopers can't pursue him past into Texas, or past like, once they get in Texas, unless another agency is there to pick up the chase, then he can continue with it. and Bert Burnett was waiting. The individual continued going until they got almost to Wichita. Then our agency got involved, took over lead. Bert dropped out, and then the next 45 to almost an hour, the individual made a big trek around Sunnyside Addition, East Scott, back 287, back into the avenues, we call it the avenue area, Floral Heights Addition, through that area. And at one point he got back almost to Barnett Road. We had spike strips set up down there. He went across the median the wrong way and turned back around and started back eastbound. And this all occurred at about 1 o'clock, 1:15 in the morning. And then continued back to East Scott again, and went to the whole trek again, and then back to Floral Heights Addition. And he was smart enough, because he's been down the road, been in prison. He's ran from law enforcement before. He knows that sit on the road for so long, the spike strip's going to get set up. And so he was trying to avoid that and getting on the service streets of the neighborhoods. And Chief Daryl Choate actually was able to get spikes on him off of Hine Street. Spiked his two left wheels. And at that point, it slowed the vehicle down quite a bit. He ended up bailing out by Kevin's paint body. And he didn't get about 40 yards. Some of our running backs and our safety backs took him down pretty hard. And he had methamphetamine in the car as well, scales, and had some pills. And of course, the car was stolen. He just said he was running because he was scared. So that's a good common thing we hear nowadays. Well, I ran because I was scared. They think it's going to get them off because, oh, you're scared. We'll let you go.
And by the way, that methamphetamine's not mine.
Yeah, no. It was in his seat too. So.
Then I just borrowed this car.
Yeah.
The good thing about it, we didn't damage any of our patrol cars. No one's patrol cars got damaged. We didn't have to knock them off the road. But it was that point at the chase where he was going to get knocked off the road. Fortunately for us, the deputy driving the older car in the fleet just couldn't get up there ahead of the other guys because of the way the guy was driving. So.
And you just had a manhunt last
Just
few
about
days.
4 days ago, had another stolen vehicle. Those were stolen out of Florida, and those people were from Florida. They thought that they'd beat and robbed a guy. They thought they killed him. The guy was critical. He's not. I don't think he's dead at this time, but he was. The male was involved with it, and the female was wanted for it already. So they thought they were wanted for murder. They brought the prison dogs out, and we deployed all of our SWAT that morning, and our guys started going door to door, building the building, searches on Parker Ranch Road, north of Seymour Highway, and our SWAT guys did find him hiding in an abandoned old trailer house out there just north of the Dollar General store. So
Searched for several hours though, didn't you?
yeah, it was about a 5-hour search.
Yeah.
Well, actually, about 4.5 hour search. But when it happens, and you got to roll with it and flow with it. So it's been busy. Good thing is no one was injured, no property damage on our side.
Good enough. All right. Anything else? It is 10:33 and we're adjourned.